Hello there, it's Jay here from Jay's Vintage Junk, and today I thought we'd take a quick look at this. Now what we've got here, this is a MyTac Slimline 386 PC. I picked this up actually on eBay a little while ago, to be honest. I have shown it on the channel when I first bought it and we unboxed it. But that's all we did in that video, was just quickly unbox it and make sure it's actually arrived here in one piece. Since then I've not touched this computer really. It just got stuck on a shelf, and in fact the only reason it's out here today is I've been doing a little bit of tidying up in the workshop and moving a few things around, and I pulled it out and curiosity's got the better of me. What's actually wrong with this thing? Can we figure out in this video what's the actual problem with this? I bought this computer actually quite cheap, as I think it was like £20 or £25 or something like that. But there's a couple of reasons why this computer was really cheap on eBay. The first reason is that it doesn't work, and the person, obviously the seller, had tested this. They had tried it and said it's dead basically. Second problem is actually possibly a little bit worse than the fact that the computer doesn't work, but we'll get into that when we get inside it. But I love these computers. I love anything, XT 286, 386, early 486. They're the era of PCs that I really like playing with. Unfortunately, there are also the eras of PCs which have got really expensive in the last few years. Like I say, I picked this up because I could afford it and it's something to play with. But we have got issues in this. Anyway, what I thought we'd do, I'll get the camera set back up so you can have a look over this. We'll have a quick look over the board, see if there's anything obvious, and then I think we'll go in and we'll check the power supply. I can't remember actually from the listing or not whether the guy had said he'd tried the board with a different power supply or not. So that's the first thing we'll figure out, is the power supply any good in this? Is it giving out the right voltages and everything? If it is, we'll see what the board's actually doing. But even said that, we've got issues. It's not going to be as easy as it could be on some other computers. So anyway, like I said, we'll get set up and we'll take a look inside this thing. So back in a sec. Right, okay, there we go. As you can see, even though this is a small form factor computer, it does still take quite a fair bit of space up on my workbench here. But let's get the top off and we can have a look inside. Now, there are no screws in it, and this is exactly how it arrived to me. So let's give it a quick tug, get the top off, and then pull that out of harm's way. Unfortunately, obviously we're missing the hard drive. That's not a problem in any way, shape or form. What is the problem? Why this thing was going so cheap? It's missing its riser card, which means basically we can't expand this computer. It's a real shame, because this is the ideal system for early DOS gaming. If I could put a Sound Blaster or an Adlib or something in a card slot, even perhaps a network card or something, this would be perfect for early DOS gaming. It's a 386 SX16, so think Castle Wolfenstein kind of era games would play really nicely on this. But like I said, and the chances of me finding one of them, it's one of them things I'm just gonna have to keep searching, and hopefully eventually one might turn up and someone not want a horrendous price for it, because I've seen riser cards for sale on eBay, from various different systems, anything from like 20 odd quid, which is fair enough, up to 150 quid for just a basic riser. Right, so we're in here. I think the first thing we'll do, one thing is corrosion. I don't know whether we've got any, I don't know what kind of backup battery this uses. I can't see any corrosion on what we can see of the board, but to be honest, I've not actually gone in here. I've said this is the first time I'm actually going to be delving into this computer. So I think what we will do, especially considering that the motherboard seems to go underneath the power supply, and we want to test that power supply anyway. We'll get the power supply out. We'll get this drive bay unit here out so we can actually have a look at the main board and see if there's anything untoward on the main board, you know, vis-a-vis battery leakage or anything like that before we go any further. And then at least we can test that power supply and see if the power supply is any good. But it might be that we pull this, pull the things out, have a look at the main board, and we find some horrendous battery leakage or something, which would explain the why it's not running. I'm guessing this will all come out as one unit anyway. Disconnect the floppy drive there. Brilliant. There's already a screw missing that should be in there, which I think holds this caddy down, so we've got 2 more screws at the back. There's our video output. We've got 2 screws here. There we go. Right, let's see if this this bay will come out. Oh, yes. No. Are you going to come out front or backwards? That comes up there, but it still seems to be attached somewhere at the front. Have we missed a screw? Yes, we have. We've got another screw in the middle there that I've missed. Some plasticness. Let's try taking that out as well. Okay. Now let's try again. Ah! Right, so that allows the drive. That's very IBM. You look there, because this is, you know, this is cheap, you know, Taiwanese computer compared with like an IBM. I mean, well, like a Model 50 would have been out probably about the same era as this. Well, we've got the same kind of idea with a slide out tray for the floppy drive. Let's disconnect that and we'll slide the floppy out. That won't look in bad condition. Complete with its drive bay. But we can test that. Later. That's not the main point of this video. It's seeing if we can actually possibly get this board to come alive. Right, now let's see if we can get this out. This should come. Yeah, this should come out now. There we go. Lovely. Oh, I think we've got video RAM up there, in sockets as well. A Western Digital chip there, isn't it? Obviously, here's our BIOS. Floppy drive controller IC there. Can't see a video IC at the moment, like a Paradise chipset or anything like that. I can see a lot of what look like, yeah, it's a Aoki brand RAM there. I'm guessing that's video RAM, being that we've got a SIM bank over here for the actual system RAM. I mean, they did use DRAM on very early 386 systems for the RAM, but I don't think that's it now. Yeah, we've got another fixing down here we need to get out. Let's get that one out. And at the same time, we might as well get these power connections disconnected. It's that one. That wasn't actually on very well. So that's the power supply actually disconnected. I think we've just got the screws in the back and we can lift the power supply out and then we can have a really, really good look at that main board. But so far what I'm not seeing is any corrosion. I can't actually see where there's a battery or where a battery's been. And I can't see like a Dallas real-time clock IC or anything like that either. Right, I think we've got 2 screws here to take the power supply out. one. I think that was the power supply 3. 2. Right, let's have a look. Does this unhook or something, or does this have to come out with... Ah, there we go. On that all... Oh, right, lovely. So that stays on the power supply. Right, so we've got the power supply out. And there we go. Right. So that... This is what I was saying about the video RAM. So I'm guessing that that is what was on board and it has actually been expanded. So what have we probably got? Have we got like half a meg when we had 256k, or have we got a meg? I think we might have a meg there actually. But I cannot see, well, I can't see any battery corrosion, which is absolutely fantastic. But I can't see where there's actually been a battery either. Oh, hang on. Could that be a battery connector there at the front? That could possibly be a battery connector there, although would you not expect it to be somewhere around the BIOS, possibly? I'm just looking at connectors that haven't got anything connected to them on the actual main board. Something else I am noticing is we have got lots and lots of these little beauties here, which are tantalum capacitors, and these like to short, and when these short they take one of the voltage rails down on from the power supply, which usually means the power supply won't start up. And I've got quite a few tantalum capacitors on this board. That's our keyboard and mouse connections there. They're on the side of the computer here. We've got an AT style keyboard connection, and we've got a PS2 PS style mouse connection there. But so the things that I'm finding interesting, I cannot see, unless it's Western Digital made VGA chipsets. I can't see a VGA chipset on there. I can just see the video RAM, and obviously that's the VGA port there. We've got, unless it's that there. What could possibly be that there? Most interesting. Right, I think the first thing we'll do, we'll pop this out of the way and we'll turn our attention to that power supply and see if that power supply is indeed any good. So let's stick that down there for now, and we'll grab this. That fan feels very, very stiff. Yeah, that fan doesn't feel good. Let's have a quick squiz inside this thing. Has anyone been in it before us? That's a question. The other thing is there should really be a grommet round there, and that's missing. So has someone been messing with this power supply before me? Obviously it goes without saying, unless you're familiar with switch mode power supplies, don't just go poking round inside them. They do have the potential to retain fairly high voltages. I very much doubt this will have. This has not been powered up for a long time now. Many months. I don't think I even tried powering it up when I got it. And there should, in anything that's reasonably modern, there should actually be bleed resistors, but you can never be completely sure of that. Right, in fact, how hard is this power supply to get open? I've got a couple more screws there, I think, and that's it. We should be able to slide the top off. And have a quick squiz inside it and just make sure there's nothing obvious before I try powering it up. There we go, we're in. Oh, that's not good. Well, that'd be a reason why the power supply, why the computer's not working. I don't know if you can make it out down there, but we have what I would refer to as a black and charred mess. Yeah, this power supply is let go in a pretty major way. There's what's probably the controller IC there, which is taken out. There's a load of resistors next to it which are smoked out there. And this is all in the high voltage side of the power supply, not in the low voltage side of the power supply, which is basically this bit over here. This is in the early switching part of the power supply, so basically where you've got the DC coming in, gets rectified to a reasonably high voltage, and again then gets chopped by this, which is a switching transistor, into a very high frequency pulse, which goes into this transformer here. I'm simplifying this massively. It is a little bit more complicated than that, but that is basically how these switch mode power supplies work. Like I say, you've got mains AC coming in here, which then gets rectified to, like I say, around about 400-ish volts DC. That then gets basically chopped up by a chopper transistor there. That high frequency pulses are then put into that transformer there. That does basically, you get the low voltage high frequency then coming out of there, which goes into this part of the power supply, which basically smooths the DC and gives you your correct DC rails and everything. And basically in our high voltage switching part of the power supply there, it is cremated. Yeah, and that fan is basically virtually stuck as well. That fan is not happy. Righty-ho then. Well, I am not going to be attempting to fix that at the moment. But could this be our win-win? Could this mean that the rest of the board is indeed a-okay? That'd be our optimum thing, really, wouldn't it? That it was just that power supply going up in smoke. It's not actually damaged anything. You know, it's not actually damaged anything else in... Oh, that's not the right way round, is it? That's wrong. I've got a bloody... No, that's right, that's right. In fact, I don't need to show you me putting this back together on camera, do I? I can just stick that to one side for now. But we know, basically, we have got a very poorly power supply here. The chances of me getting any service data for that are going to be slim to none, but I will have a go. What's probably going to end up happening is that I'm probably going to have to build another power supply into this case, so it'll actually fit. Obviously we need the switch there so we can switch it on from the front. We can possibly do something with an ATX supply. I might have some quite small ATX supplies that might do the job if we can get the right voltages out of it. Anyway, what I will do, I will go and have a hunt in my stash, and I will see if I can find a decent AT power supply, and we can perhaps have a look at seeing whether that board's going to power up. We'll check for some shorts and what have you on the main board, and then we'll actually see if possible we can get that main board to fire up. So I'll say back in a sec. Right, okay, we're back, and I've dug this out. So this is the AT power supply out of an old Oavetti 286, which unfortunately the motherboard on was beyond all hope. But the power, I've just tested this out with a load on it, and it's giving out sensible voltages in all the right places, so at least we can try this and see if this can actually power the main board up. So let's clear some detritus off my desk. And we do have a piezo speaker on here, so at least let's get that out of the way. Now this isn't going to fit in here in any way, shape or form, so we are going to have to kind of like balancing it on the side here. In fact, that'll work. We can put it there. Now, if anyone's not familiar with connecting up an AT connector, the black wires always go to the middle. So basically that goes on there like that. Come on. Am I putting the... no, I'm putting these on the right way around, aren't I? It's that long since I've worked with AT stuff. There we go. So that's on there. I should really have my anti-static on while I'm doing this, in fact, yeah. Otherwise someone will complain. We'll put our anti-static strap on while we're messing about with this. There we go, so that's in there. So we've got power to the board now. In fact, no. Right, we're jumping the gun here. What we should be doing first. Let's get old Mr. Test Meter in. Let's set that nice low range. Let's put them back off. Because I've just remembered we've got all those tantalums on the board here. Let's just make sure we haven't got a shorted tantalum before we go any further. So we know that basically the middle two pins there are ground and the middle two pins there on that connector there, the AT connector, the 4 inner pins, that 1, 2, 3 and 4 are all ground. All the others are our voltage pins. So if we go onto one of the ground pins there, and then we go onto this which should be plus 5 volts, and we have a look on the meter, and we just touch the leads. Yeah, if you look there, we've got 0.6 of an ohm if I short the leads together. I'll go onto ground there, and I'll go onto plus 5 volts. There's nothing there at all. That's basically open circuit. So that's good. We'll go on to minus 5 volts. And again, all is good. And then we will go on to, we'll go on to, I think that's plus 12 volts. Or is that minus 12 volts? Plus 12 volts. That was just a capacitor charging up. I think that's just a capacitor charging up, because it's not actually showing anything there now. Nothing there. No, I think we are good. I don't think we've got any shorts on the board. So let's go and connect this back up. That one is this side. One problem is because these leads are so short, it does make connecting this up a bit of a pain, but I didn't want to, I couldn't find my other spare AT supply, and I didn't want to start pulling the computer apart just to pull its supply out for this, so we'll have to make do with what we've got. I was just thinking, I've got the my old test bench up there actually that I used to use back in the 90s. I just need to rebuild the power supply on that, and we could probably use that for things like this. Right, so that's connected back up. What's a real shame is because we don't have that riser card there, I can't plug my postcard in and see if we've got any activity using the postcard. I mean, that does kind of look like an 8-bit slot, an 8-bit ISA there, but I don't know. I don't want to risk it. I'd have to basically bell a lot of this out and see if our voltages are in the right place, and then I might chance it. But right, let's switch on and we'll see if we get any activity from this board at all. We've got, yeah, our LEDs and everything are still plugged in at the front, so at least we'll see if we've got anything there. But we have got a PSO speaker there, so we may get a beep out of it if it's got any signs of life, and then if it has, we can connect a monitor and keyboard and what have you up. So contact. We've got a power light on the front. No beeps or anything though. In fact, nothing at all. I'll switch back off. Is anything getting warm? Not that I can feel. Not straight away anyway. Right, I tell you what, I will just connect a monitor up to it, because we've got VGA right on the back there, and we'll just see if we've got any signs of life from it. So I'll say back in a sec. Right, okay, we're back, and I've got the old Dell flat panel connected up to the back of it there. I've also plugged in an AT keyboard just to see if I get any activity on the numlock lights or anything like that when I actually... I wonder if I can leave that where you can see it. Can you see that there? Yeah, so you can see the lights there. Just see if we get any activity there. Obviously we've got the monitor plugged in, and we'll switch back on. Like I say, I think we've got a very dead board, to be honest, but we'll switch on and see if we get anything. So let's power it back up again. Now we did get a flash from there, but we've got no signs of life from the video side whatsoever. I suppose one thing we could do, could we have like a bad one of these upgraded RAM chips in the video RAM or something like that? Or when that it could simply be that when that power supply let go, it put one hell of a spike through the board, and we've got far more serious problems. But seems like the keyboard's initializing. That's the keyboard controller there. That seems to be initializing because we're getting the flash on beep on the keyboard. But apart from that, it does seem very, very, very dead indeed. I'll try one more time. So the power supply powers up, but we don't get the power on good light on the monitor changing from amber to green, so we're not getting a video signal being sent out of the VGA at the back. We're getting no post beeps or anything, so it does seem pretty dead. Let's just make sure that RAM is in incorrectly. That's the other thing. These are them horrible which is bank 1 and which is bank I very much doubt it'll make any difference at all, but these are them absolutely horrible 30-pin SIM slots that are all plastic, and if you're not careful they snap for fun. I think these are 1 meg, so I think it's got 2 meg of RAM on board. But did it have 8 meg? Someone's pinched 6 meg and it's only got them left in the back banks. I don't know. Does the case say anything about putting RAM in it? No, it doesn't. Just try swapping them over into the other opposing banks, see if that makes any difference. I'm not expecting it to. And I haven't got my anti-static. I am touching this and this is grounded, but I've not got my bloody anti-static back on again, which I took it off before. There we go. Just try it. I doubt that's going to make any difference at all, but you never know. One last thing I'm just going to quickly try. See, I can't feel anything getting red hot. In fact, tiny little bit of warmth in the CPU. Oops, in the CPU, which is to be expected. I'm just feeling the tops of the RAM chips just on the off chance that, and basically just feeling around to see if there's anything red hot. And no, there isn't. Those are getting quite warm. I'm presuming those are going to be pals or gals or something down there. A little bit of warmth on the CPU, but that's about it. Let's switch off again. Right, I'm just going to really quickly just try pulling that video around, because obviously that's been added later, that's not original to the board. So there's the finest possibility that that was added and then the board died and someone just gave up. Well, where are my chip pullers? There they are. They've been in there a long time though, those are, wow, those are tight. I am really clutching at straws here at the moment, to be honest. I'm just have a wonder, you know. It's something that someone's added, and could it possibly be that, you know, they just got random chips. They're all Oki brand chips actually, they probably all come from the same batch, so I mean, was this done back in the day as a an upgrade? Seems an odd thing to upgrade on something that was probably basically used as a office workstation, but oops. We'll just quickly try pulling them all. I could always possibly test these as well. What are they? Yeah, the 41464s. So I think I'll be able to test them in my Speedmaster and just definitely ascertain whether they're good or not. Alright, we'll pull all them out. So we've only got what was the original video RAM in there. I'm not sure about the actual system RAM, whether it should be in them slots or them slots as the first lot of slots, or in fact, because this is a 38616, does it actually matter? Anyway, let's give it one quick last power up and see if anything changes. So contact. I think everything's exactly the same. We still get the power on from the keyboard, so I'm guessing the keyboard controller's doing something, but that's about it. No activity from the video there. We're getting no kind of power on beep or anything like that. So I think that's where we're going to leave it for this video. And what I'm going to have to do is see if I can find any information about this main board. It's quite a beast of a main board as well. It's quite a nice large size. And we'll have to break the scope out, see if we've got a clock on the CPU, and basically take it from there. I don't think these are going to be the issue, so I'm probably just going to bang them straight back in, to be honest. Seeing we didn't make any difference at all taking it. That was a real long shot, to be honest. I have a horrible feeling what's happened is that when that power supply let go, like I say, it sent probably a hell of a spike, probably down the 5 volts line or the 12 volts line. I mean, most likely the 5 volts line, to be wholly honest, because if you took the 12 volts line out, I think you'd probably still get a lot of the system still working. I think you get a hell of a load of post beeps, but I have a feeling that it would mostly work. But if it's had a massive over voltage on the 5 volt line, it could have cremated most of the logic chips on here, depending obviously on how bad it is. I've seen, you know, 12 volts go onto a 5 volt line and it just perhaps blow one IC, so it's not possibly the end of the world, but we've certainly got definitely some issues with this board. So yeah, it's not going to be a quick fix or anything, but it's still going to be an interesting project to get into. Like I said, when I've got some more time to really delve into it and see what issues we've got. But no, this is not going to be a quick fix computer in any way, shape or form. We've got the power supply, which, like I said, is most likely a lost cause. We just have to put something else in that case so we can actually get it to fit in here. But that's the easy thing to sort. The harder problem is actually finding out what is wrong with this main board now and seeing where we can take it. It would be so much better if we had the riser there and we could plug a postcard in and see perhaps how far it's getting along in the actual startup. But I might actually see what I can find out about the riser socket there. At least if we can find if the voltages are in the same place on that first bit for 8-bit ISA. We might be in luck that we could possibly plug a postcard in or something like that and see how far we can take it from there. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there for now. Like I say, I'm sorry we've not got a success on this one, but at least we've had a little bit of a delve into this computer, and at least now we know what we're actually up against when we actually get in there and then start trying to see if we can fix this thing. So I'll say I hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.